Hi, and welcome to another edition of One Side. Budge and I are going to go through it, and it's got to that stage where we're finding out who's going to win the league, who's getting relegated, and interestingly enough, we're starting to get onto the soccer 13s where the names of these teams you've never heard of. Looks like a Norwegian menu, the names, but Budge has done a bit of homework on them, and we'll get on to you. But first, Budge, let's get on to the Champions League results, because it's still a major tournament, and our friends on Tuesday, Juve.
Yeah, too
Monaco.
good, Paul. Yeah.
Too good. It looked at one stage a good game.
Yeah.
When it was nil each.
Yeah, they were forced to come, but the French teams can't defend.
Yeah.
And the Artas just sat back, caught them on the break. Before they scored, they should have had 2 goals anyway. But deserved finalist, Juve.
Yeah, they've been a good team for a good few years now. The other one was on Wednesday. It looked all over. Real Madrid were 3-0 up from the first leg. Suddenly they're 2-0 down. Yeah,
superb game, Unfortunately, Isco turned up, and to me, he's been Real Madrid's best player this year, him and Modric. And bit of magic from Benzema, but terrible defending from Godin. Let him get on the byline. And once it went 2-1, that was a dead and buried. But when it was 2-0, the game was on.
Gee, that would have been some comeback. 3-0.
You go at a half-time 2-0, but...
So Atletico had a full go. The final's Cardiff, eh?
Yep.
Saturday, 3rd of June, for those of you who want to watch the championship. The Champions League final, get down for that. Great. English games during the week, and suddenly it's all fallen into place. But let's just go and touch on a point that you brought up, Budge. How everyone waxes about how great a league the English league is. Yet when it comes to Champions League, we get shown up. We get shown up.
Embarrassing facts, Paul.
Embarrassing facts. And I've got some facts here that you've dug up, and I thank you for them. In the last 5 seasons, Budge, there's been 20 participants. How many finalists?
None.
2 semi-finalists. Chelsea 2014.
Yeah, they got beat by Atletico Madrid.
And Man City 2016.
Last year by Real,
2 quarterfinalists.
Yeah,
Leicester.
Yep, this year.
And Man United 2014.
Done by Bayern,
11 have made the last 16. Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea, and Man United. It's shocking. When you come to look at, and then 5 teams have failed to qualify.
Yeah.
Tottenham, Man United, Liverpool, Man City, and Chelsea. Our big teams.
Well, that Roy Keane made a comment two weeks ago saying that everyone's celebrating when they get in the top 4. When he was at Man United, 1, they wanted to win the league, and 2, they wanted to be competitive in the Champions League.
Yeah.
And the English teams, it's just money, and I think it may change now.
They've got buying power.
But, I just think, but it'll change, I think, now. The managers that they've now got, you take Klopp, you take Mourinho, you take Antonio Conte, no Wenger may not be in there, you got Guardiola. So they'll start bringing in the real high-profile players.
You have to have them. But
you've got to
have them to stay there, Later in the show, we're going to look at some spending that was done in the last 2 years with the major English sides, but these stats are not good.
No, pathetic.
It's a great league to watch.
And it's competitive.
And it's competitive.
Because the lower leagues, the lower teams, don't get too many hidings, which they do in Spain.
Yeah, the bottom boys catch it.
No, they've got no money in Spain, Paul. That's the problem. You look at Atletico Madrid, they're the 3rd best team. 5 centre forwards, and Griezmann's going to be the next one. They've had Aguero, they've had Torres, they've had Falcao. Radamel Falcao. They've had to sell their best players to survive every year.
It's not right, eh?
No.
It sounds like Southampton. Okay, that was that. Now let's go look at Europa League.
It's tonight,
Man United 1-0 up. They're at home.
Yeah.
They've stuttered at home, but a draw puts them through.
Yeah, but pressure, Paul. This team scores first. The crowd will go quiet. Mourinho's put all his eggs in this basket, and to me, I think he's done it the right way. It's too hard a task for United to get in the top 4, especially we had Arsenal away, and even with our best team, it would have been tough. Then we got Tottenham away this week, and I think Tottenham are twice the team we are.
Yeah.
So I agree with what he's done. It may not work out, but...
What is Celta Vigo like?
Well, they've rested all their players the last few weeks. But
waiting for this one?
Waiting for this. But, we should have beat them 2 or 3 in Vigo.
Yeah.
So we should get through, Paul, but pressure's another thing.
And Ajax and Leon play, but...
one of the best games I saw this season was end-to-end.
4-1.
4-1.
That's right.
Could have been 10-6.
Could have been much closer.
It was the Ajax goalkeeper, Nanka, the Cameroonian, was brilliant.
What were you telling me earlier, Budge? The finals in Stockholm.
Yeah.
And Sweden are going to unveil a statue of Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Fantastic.
Yeah, well, he's been their best player for the last 10 seasons.
He showed England.
Well, we scored 4 goals against England, and it was on Steven Gerrard's 100th international game for England.
One game he stuck 4 goals. Who was the hapless goalie in those days?
Joe Hart. One was the bicycle kick from about 40 yards. We was running away from the goal. And ironically, it could be his 2 teams in the final. Yeah. Man United and where he made his name at Ajax. So that would be fitting.
But he's injured.
Yeah, he's done the crucial. He's back on crutches, but he won't be.
Okay. Premiership results.
Yep.
Friday, West Ham beaten Tottenham, put an end to the league for me. We'll close the door completely. And then Chelsea were too strong for Middlesbrough. Yeah. Chelsea have had a good year.
Yeah, experienced. A team of winners. I know last year they went missing, but quality team. Yeah. And with no European action.
That's a big plus. Them and Liverpool.
We'll see next year. And if Hazard goes missing or gets sold to Real Madrid.
Or the striker.
Or Diego Costa goes to China, we'll see.
Saturday, Man City rolled Crystal Palace. Yeah. It could have been 1-1 at one stage.
Yeah, it should have been.
Could have been 1-1. And then Liverpool, Southampton, the penalty save from Milner.
Superb save.
Was it?
Yeah.
I didn't see it,
brilliant save.
And then Arsenal, Man United. Arsenal played well.
Yeah.
But by their standards, they haven't had a great run.
Paul Rooney intercepted a back pass. If he rolls it square to Mata, in it goes 1-0. Then the crowd goes berserk. The first goal they got was completely poxy. And then good header from Welbeck. But, that team had no pace. Mkhitaryan, Rooney, Mata, Carrick. You can't keep relying on Marshall to get behind. But we deservedly got beat in the end.
And then Arsenal now had a 3-game win because they won last night.
Won last night. Obviously, I was watching
They beat Southampton 2-0. Southampton has scored once in their last 5... 4 of their last 5 games they haven't scored.
Yeah, it's strange.
Stranger they've dried up because they've got a fair side.
Gabbiadini up front. Good player, but...
Yeah. Okay, now the Premier League table, just to touch on the Premier League table so you guys know where we're going. 84 points Chelsea, Tottenham 77, it looks clear cut. The interest obviously has to be the next 4 teams, only 2 of them can go into the top 4. Liverpool on 70 points, 69 Man City, Arsenal 66, Man United 65. They've all got 3 to play except Liverpool, they've got 2 to play. Yeah. So if they all take the points, Man City go above them. Arsenal go up next to them, and Man United right on top of them. So it's still all to play for.
Man City, I think, will be one of the 4. It's all on Liverpool. They win their last 2 games. They're in the top 4. I think they deserve to be there.
Yeah.
A lot of key injuries at crucial times for them, but
Mane
I just hope Arsenal don't get it. A lot, come with a late run again. They don't deserve to be in the Champions League.
Yeah. So, okay, then there's as much interest at the bottom because there's now 3 teams. And one of them's got to go because Middlesbrough's gone, Sunderland's gone.
Yep.
But I would be inclined to think Crystal Palace might stay out of the scrum.
Well, they need a draw. And Sam's got £4 million worth of reasons to make sure they don't lose to Hull City this week. They're 4 points ahead of Hull City. If they draw, they can't go down.
If they lose?
Then the danger's on. Their last game's at Man United.
And Swansea City, the last game for Crystal Palace is Man United. Don't expect much change there. Yeah. Swansea City's last game is West Brom.
Yeah.
That's at home for Swansea.
But Swansea plays Sunderland this week. Big game. But the way they've been playing, they got robbed with a penalty at Man United and they fought hard. Yeah. Against Everton, they were by far the better team. And, while results can be a little bit misleading, their performances have been good. And I think they'll get out of it this week. I think they'll beat Sunderland.
And Hull City
I think Hull are gone, I don't see them beating Palace.
So it looked like that's the story. Right, let's go on to the league, Budge. Here's where we got the teams in the league. And some interesting figures for you here. Friday night, 2 games, Budge. Unusual?
Yeah. Strange,
Okay, Everton, Watford.
2 teams that I think would like the season to end. I watched Everton last week at Swansea. They were disgraceful.
Yeah.
At home, different ball game. The only team that's beat them in the last 9 has been Chelsea. So you've got to fancy Everton. Watford away from home are disastrous.
Troy Deeney.
Yeah, Troy Deeney. You've got to fancy Everton, but I wouldn't be taking 4-10.
And then Chelsea, I think they get a bit of a game here. But
should be, Tony Pulis. They win the league.
Yeah, that's right. They've got they've
got everything to play for.
Funny things have happened.
Sure.
But West Brom, on their day...
they're talented, but their last 5 home games, they've only won 1. They've lost 4, and that's not like Tony Pulis' side.
Yeah, that's not like them
Chelsea
at all.
For me.
Then we go on a Saturday, the early game, Man City, Leicester.
I think there'll be plenty of goals in this. These are the danger teams for Man City because Vardy up front, there'll be one ball over the top. And you can remember last year they went there and beat them 3-1.
Yeah, that's right.
So
9-1 Leicester to pull it off, eh?
Man City going forward, they should expose them at the back. But I think it should be a high-scoring game.
Would you ever bet in Bournemouth-Burnley game?
Well, the pressure's off them both.
Yeah.
You know, and Bournemouth at home on that tight pitch, they have a go. You
Yeah.
know, I like Burnley. They've only won once away from home, the key game when they beat Palace. I think there'll be goals in that game.
Absolutely. Okay. And then let's have a look at Middlesbrough. Nothing to play for. Southampton, nothing to play for.
You know, it's the third game in 6 days for Southampton. You know, they drew at Liverpool, hard game. They got beat last night.
Yeah.
You wonder, have they got much left of Middlesbrough? They are the better team.
Yeah.
You know, originally I looked 11 at 10, but
I might take a bit 11 to 10 because Middlesbrough
you know,
will be
rubbish. But
tatters.
they played well against Man
Southampton
City.
have played good sides.
Yeah, but you know, Middlesbrough unlucky against Man City. They do true too.
Yeah.
You know, the guy died for the penalty.
Yeah.
But you know, maybe the pressure off like Sunderland last week. Have a go, no pressure.
Yeah, you're
But
right.
of the
there.
two teams, you've got to fancy Southampton.
Okay, then will you take 8 to 10 Swansea against Sunderland?
Yeah,
I think so too. I think they're going to be a team to beat. And then Stoke City, Arsenal. I think Arsenal, the pressure's on them, you know, and then Hughes is not going to take it lightly.
Mark Hughes at Man United, him and Tony Adams, you know, they got sent off every time they played against each other. You know, the only teams that have beat Stoke in the last 12 games are Liverpool and Chelsea. You know, and there's bad blood. You can remember years ago, Shawcross broke Aaron Ramsey's leg.
That's right.
And Wenger went berserk. Gallas wouldn't come off the pitch. He sat on the halfway line. So there's bad blood with these teams. I don't see Stoke getting beat, yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I think Arsenal really got to go for it.
Yeah.
And then Sunday, but just move on to Sunday. Crystal Palace, Hull City. This is a humdinger. Hull can get ahead.
Yeah,
but
away from home, they're useless.
Are they?
You know, 2 points in
He
the last 16.
hasn't done too badly, the boy.
No, he's done a very good job. You know, there's rumour he may get the West Ham job.
Okay.
If they go down, he's got in his contract that if they get relegated, he can leave.
Okay.
So, but I don't, you know, Crystal Palace, this is it. You know, 4 million reasons for Sam to stay in. They avoid defeat, but I think they'll beat them because Hull later on they're going to have to go for it.
Yeah.
And I think Palace will be too good for them. I think evens is a good bet.
West Ham, Liverpool. Now, Liverpool are hot favourites in here, but West Ham beat Spurs there. It's that big track. I don't think they're a good side, West Ham. They played very well against Spurs.
The three at the back can panel beat.
That's what they did. They came through Kane like he wasn't there. You're right. But they're not a good side.
No, they're not a good side. They're hard-working.
Yeah.
You know, Sunday, the pressure's off them now. And I think there could be a few goals. You know, Liverpool have got to go at it. You know, defensively, I think they could get caught.
Yeah.
But, you know, of the two teams, you've got to fancy Liverpool. They are by far a better team.
Yeah. Then Tottenham Hotspurs, my beloved Spurs, won their last 13 league games.
I think the certainty. I think they're the best bit of the weekend.
You got Thursday, you got Celta Vigo, man.
Tonight.
Yeah.
You know, Paul, even with our best team, I don't think we beat Spurs at White Hart Lane.
Yeah, be good there. Yeah. Okay, well, that's that. Now, what to me is of great interest because of Stevie B, my mate at Fulham. Now, his team, Fulham, have worked their way into the playoffs. There are two teams gone up, and I see that Brighton didn't win the championship. Newcastle did.
It was on the other day. The guy got a penalty, and the guy got sent off the centre half. And they scored 1-0 up, and I thought that was it. So I turned over and watched something else, and Villa equalised from a free kick.
So Newcastle go through.
Well, they were the best team.
Yeah,
the biggest spends.
Brighton have done well. Well. Spurs boy in charge.
Yeah, Chris Hughton.
Now the playoffs. Reading, Jaap Stam's team, go in against Fulham. It's home and away.
Home and away.
And the games are played, let me get this right, Reading, Fulham is Saturday, Tuesday, and then Sunday, Wednesday is Sheffield Wednesday and Huddersfield, who've started a bit lately.
Yes.
It's great football.
Oh, no.
This has changed your financial outlook.
Well, the final's the biggest football game in the world.
Is that right? Eh?
Yeah. The amount of money that's available to whoever comes up is frightening.
So that is financially really something to play for. So relegated Wigan, Rotherham and Blackburn.
Yeah.
Blackburn go down again. They were champions of the Premier League once.
Venky's, I was there when the fans wanted them out.
Yeah.
3 years ago, and well, now they are gone. So,
but I just want to show you a stat. I think we've got the slide here to have a look, because you know I'm Spurs mad.
Yeah.
Now this is two-season Tottenham, the best PL record since start of last season.
Okay.
Spurs 147 points,
Yeah.
15 points more than any other side in the last 2 years. Net spend 7 million. How's Man City spending with their 132?
Yeah. Well, I just can't believe Man United are 1 point behind Man City, or behind. Even we spent 153. Well, 90 of that was on obviously Pogba, but. Good stat for Tottenham. Pity they haven't won the league.
Have Liverpool spent that's all they spent.
Well, they only buy Southampton players. I don't know why they don't go and buy the club for 250 million and inherit all the players
That's right,
as well.
they do it.
Interesting stat. You'll see at the end of the year, Mourinho's going to peddle a few United guys. That's guaranteed.
No doubt.
So, but very interesting.
Very interesting. They won 4 more games in the last 2 years than any other side. So that's interesting. Right, let's go on to another interesting league, the PSL.
Oof.
Now, this is really getting
Hotting up.
Hotting up, but Budge, some results, Let's look at Supersport Cape Town City, 4-2 to Supersport, great game.
Superb game, yeah. It was close, and the goalkeeper stood behind the wall for a free kick, and he bent to the near post.
He sold the jerseys a few times.
He sold them against Maritzburg.
Will he stay?
Well, he's got to. He's a good goalkeeper. He just can't line a free kick up.
Okay. Wednesday, interesting results.
Yeah.
Sundowns looked certainties to beat Barocca.
Yeah, they were 2-0 up. Then Barocca scored on half-time, and they scored an injury time.
So from going top of the league, they stay second because of that draw.
Because of the draw, yeah.
Free State Stars beat Bidvest, the league leaders.
That's their bogey team, Paul. But I'd watched quite a bit of it, and good goal. I thought the goalkeeper could have got it until I saw the shot from behind the goal. It just wasn't to be for Bidvest, but bumpy pitch. And Free State Stars, we spoke a while back. They outplayed Supersport with one of these Barcelona type 7 touches, rolled it across the small box, and the guy stuck it over the bar. They have that ability, Free State Stars, and I think that's them safe now.
I think, that's them safe, Maritzburg United, Platinum Stars, no score, Bloom Celtic, Orlando Pirates. Pirates haven't had a great year.
No, I think Nedbanks, that's their main mission.
But Bafanas must talk about the boys.
Yeah.
Stuart Baxter, and that's his second stint, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
What's he like?
Yeah, seems a nice guy. I've never met him. The type of guy who's very diplomatic, so that would suit all the SAFA officials. And he's done it. He knows the players. And I'd rather him, while I thought Gavin
What's the biggest success he's had? I don't know. Maybe
he won the League of Chiefs.
Yeah.
But,
28th of August.
That's the next World Cup qualifier.
That's miles away.
Yeah, but there's other games in between. But he starts at the end of the season. But that's the one he's got to aim at.
Okay, and then let's go on to top of the log. Now, this is interesting. Do you remember, guys, cast your minds back where I said Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates cannot win the league. It's now become a 2-horse race, and the 2 horses involved are Bidvest Wits and, of course, Mamelodi Sundowns, everyone's favourite. How many games left? 2 or 3?
2 games each.
2 games each. Bidvest have 57.
Yeah, Polokwane at home, and then Kaizer Chiefs away.
Ooh.
And that's the big one. Other team will win both their games, no doubt.
They got 55 points.
Yeah. So, and remember, goal difference favours Sundowns.
Yes, by 8. Whoa.
That's why that late goal from Barocca changed the whole. Otherwise, you could have
the league went over. Yeah, emptied over. So Bidvest Wits play Polokwane, then Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah.
And Sundowns play Maritzburg United and Highlands Park, who are scrambling. Talking about the bottom of the log, relegation battle. Free State Stars on 13, 26 points. Chipper United, 24 points. Budge. Barocca, 24 points. And Highlands Park, without Gordon Eggerson, he got the bullet, 22 points. It looks tough but Highlands have got it in their own hands because they play Chipper, who won 24 points, and they play Barocca.
Yeah.
The last game they're not going to win. They're not going to beat Sundowns.
No.
So
this is in their hands, Paul. They're 2 points behind. If they win, they go above Chipper.
Yeah.
So that's all this Saturday.
Interesting games. Let's go on to those games, Budge. Yeah. Okay, let's start. Highlands Park at home at Chipper. Yeah, 16 plays 14. What do you think?
Tell you what, I wouldn't like to be the official in this game, Got to fancy Highlands.
Yeah.
Chipper away from home are woeful.
Woeful. Okay, but it's all to play for, as we said earlier. Golden Arrows 10th, play Barocca 15. Big for Barocca.
Originally I thought Arrows would be good things, but next weekend they play in the Nedbank Challenge semi-final. They play Pirates. And then they play in midweek. So maybe Clinton will rest a few players and you can't get relegated, where Barocca all's to play for.
Yeah. Polokwane City, Kaizer Chiefs. 6 plays 5.
Yeah, they're in good form, Polokwane, but they've never beaten Chiefs. They've played 11 times, never beaten them. Now, Chiefs, I've watched their last 3 games, have conceded goals in injury time. Otherwise, they would be in the title race. They got beat by Cape Town City because they were 2-2, went for it. They drew with Supersport 2-2, they were 2-1 up. And they drew with Golden Arrows on Saturday. 3 injury time goals. I like Chiefs are the 2.
They're not fitness, eh?
No, it's just concentration on the back.
Ajax Cape Town play Bloom Celtic, 8 plays 12.
Fancy Ajax if they can score. Bloom Celtic don't get beat.
Yeah. Okay. Money. Time for the money. So, Budge, we've got great games coming up this weekend. It's a fantastic weekend of football. And I'm funking for Fulham.
Yeah.
I'm really big for Stevie B's team. Right, let's go to the soccer six first. Now, put up the first soccer six, and we can work our way through his budget. Give me your reasoning here.
Okay, yeah, I've gone golden arrows in the draw. I was going to bank arrows. But, Barocco are desperate in the relegation fight, and it's not really a must-win for arrows. So I've gone win and draw arrows. The second game is a Spanish La Liga game. I've gone win and draw Espanyol against Valencia. Likewise, I was going to bank at Kaiser Chiefs, but, Polokwane are a good team.
Yeah.
They're in 7th place, so I've gone win and draw Chiefs looking for the result. Now, the next game is an Irish Premier League game between Limerick, Derry. Strange how Derry are in the Irish Premier League because they're from Northern Ireland, the Candy Stripes. So I've gone Limerick win and draw. They're both in good form, but I've gone with a home team. I've gone Ajax win and draw against Bloemfontein Celtic, and I've banked at Atalanta against AC Milan, 192.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Next soccer
So
six.
the next one is the English-Scottish. Don't know how they're putting these together, but anyway. I've gone Bournemouth win and draw with Burnley.
Yeah.
I've gone Southampton win and draw Middlesbrough. I've banked at Swansea.
Yes.
Dundee, Ross County. Gone win and draw Ross County. Hamilton, Motherwell.
Ross County,
There's a Scottish Premiership.
that's
But what
right,
they
yeah.
do in Scotland, they separate the teams going for the championship and the teams that are surviving relegation. So they split them into two packages or two groups of 6. So those 2 games there are both teams to get relegated. So I've gone for the draw in Ross County and the draw in Hamilton.
Second last game there, Budge.
Hamilton,
You
Motherwell,
know Billy Connolly, the comedian?
Yes.
He supported Hamilton Academic
Academicals.
Null. He thought their name was Hamilton Academic Null, because they never scored a goal. He thought that was their full name, Hamilton Academic Null.
Jeez.
But you've gone for them.
Yeah, I think I've gone win and draw. It'll be another tight game. In the relegation games towards the end, it's about not getting beat as opposed to winning. And I've gone win and draw Stoke City against Arsenal.
If that result comes, Budge, Arsenal not top 4.
Yeah.
Arsenal that's important to them, okay?
Stoke City, at home, different ball game at home, that team.
Okay, let's look at the 10 now.
Okay,
Here's the top
10,
half of the 10.
Well, we've got all the nice German league.
Okay, I don't understand.
Okay, I've gone Borussia Dortmund, who have to get a result to get in the Champions League automatically. They're third.
Yes.
They're 2 points ahead of Hoffenheim. Then I've gone Darmstadt, Hertha Berlin. Darmstadt already relegated, but they've won 3 of the last 4.
After being relegated. Okay,
Yeah,
sure.
Hertha Berlin can't win away from home. They've lost their last 9 away games. They're in 6th place.
Gee, imagine
But
they
yeah,
had
so
it.
I've gone 1, 2, 3 there. I've banked at Bayern Munich now. They're already champions. RB Leipzig are second. Now they've got 2 games to go, Bayern. Last week they played Darmstadt. They won 1-0. Darmstadt missed a penalty injury time to get a point.
Sure.
So they rested 8 or 9 players.
Will
So
they
they're
play
going to
them
bring
this
them
week?
all back this week. I read
They'll win.
Ancelotti's column, so they should win. I've gone Schalke, win and draw against a Hamburg team. Likewise, third bottom, need a point. But Schalke, they're one of the better teams in Germany. Werder Bremen, win and draw against Hoffenheim, who are 4th. It's a 1-2-3 game, but Werder have won their last 5 games at home. So I've given them the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, page 2.
Second page, likewise, I've gone Ross County, win and draw against Dundee. I've gone win and draw Bournemouth against Burnley. Likewise, Southampton, win and draw against Middlesbrough. I've banked Swansea, and I've looked for the upset Stoke City,
a lot
win
of your
and draw
bets
against...
hinged on Stoke City.
Yeah, Paul, I'm not sold on Arsenal. They've got
No.
a result against United. I don't like they're all playing to get a cup final place, but that Stoke's a difficult place to go to, and Mark Hughes will have his boys fired up, yeah.
Okay, then soccer 13. I wonder if we've got some of these difficult names.
All right,
we have.
gets
Whoa,
there. Starts off nice and easy. I've gone win and draw Bournemouth over Burnley. I've gone Southampton win and draw over Middlesbrough. Likewise, Stoke win and draw over Arsenal. I've banked Swansea. Now, ARK Stockholm against Örebro, that's the main league in Sweden, Allsvenskan. You could get away with bankering ARK, but they've only scored 6 goals in their 5 games. So if I had another chance to throw a draw in, I've thrown the draw in there, ARK in the draw with Örebro. I've gone Häcken, win and draw over Kalmar. Now, Dalkurd, I've banked them. They're in the Superette in the league below. I've gone win and draw. They've had a good start to the season over Trelleborg.
Never heard of them. Okay, let's go to the next page.
And there's a cracker coming now. Now, the biggest club in the world, in Europe, should I say. Biggest soccer club in Europe, Bromma I've banked them. Now, the guy that played centre-half for Aston Villa has just taken over them. His name is Olaf Melberg.
I like the first part of his name.
Olaf, yeah.
Olaf.
Yeah, I've banked Bromma. They won 5 and drawn one of their first 6. They should be too good for Falkenberg. Now, Helsingborg were relegated last year. Now, they've had a good start over RK Fredge. I've bankered them. Now, Phil Georgio's
RK
team,
Fredge,
Acropolis.
Tabby.
Yeah. Karlstad versus Acropolis. I've gone win and draw Acropolis.
The Greek team.
Greek team playing in Sweden, yeah. Solon Tudor, they were promoted last year. They've had a good start, in good form, especially at home.
Oh, their league run at different times to
Different times, yeah, because of the climate.
Climate, yeah.
You know, and I think they'll be too good for Siriska. Yeah, Lujanskill, I've gone win and draw with Landskrona, and likewise the last game, I've gone the home team at Sigtons versus Oscar Hams, win and draw there, 409 Rand.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, now action time. Budge, let's roll on here. Now I've got to see what you've gone. You've gone for your premiership
Yeah,
quad.
I've gone Saturday, Sunday, because several people don't like to wait for some of the games on the Sunday. So with the Premiership, I broke it down. I've gone Swansea to beat Sunderland away on Saturday. Man City, Leicester, Bournemouth, Burnley, both teams to score, and Stoke win and draw against Arsenal.
Wow.
Worked
So
out
we
just
got the draw,
under. Yeah, we got the draw, just under 12
And then
to
Sunday
1.
Premier.
Yeah, I've gone Crystal Palace to beat Hull. I've gone Tottenham to beat Man United. I think in an open game, I know it's at the Olympic Stadium. I think West Ham, Liverpool, both teams
When
to
you're
score.
talking both teams to score, is that
One
the
all,
West Ham?
both teams to score 1-1, 2-1.
Yes,
both
but
teams have to
you're
score.
not talking about Crystal Palace and Tottenham. Both
No,
teams
those
to
two
score.
teams to win. The top two teams are to win.
Yeah.
And both teams to score, West Ham, Liverpool. And I've thrown in some Monday game, Chelsea, Watford, purely because I think they'll win the league on Friday night.
Yeah.
And then it's open gates. I'll rest and play all the squad players.
Yeah.
And so there were good odds on that. Now, I've put the playoff special.
Yeah.
I've gone Fulham to beat Reading at home on Saturday. On Sheffield Wednesday, on Sunday, I've then gone win or draw at Huddersfield. Now, there's League Two playoffs as well.
Yes.
Your mate Vince Jansen's team, Luton Town, they're away at Blackpool. I've gone them to win, and I've gone over 2.5 goals the Carlisle Exeter City game. They worked out at 12 to 1.
Spanish
The
omelette.
Spanish quartet, yeah, I've gone Osasuna to beat Granada. I've gone Eibar to beat Sporting Gijon. I've gone Atletico Madrid to beat Real Betis by more than 1 goal, and over 2.5 goals in the Athletic Bilbao Leganes game, 16 to 1.
Good odds. Right. Next one up is going to be the
Italian treble.
That
Yeah,
sounds
there
like
were
a
no other
pizza.
leagues floating around,
Yeah.
Paul. So the Italian's still going along. I've gone Atalanta to
All
beat
got to
AC Milan, all got to win. I've gone Bologna to beat Pescara, and Juventus are playing Roma, the big game of the weekend. Now, hummed and hard which way to go, but Roma's best player was a guy that was centre forward for Man City, Edin Dzeko.
Yes.
He was outstanding last week when they beat AC Milan. Now, he can't play, he's injured.
Okay.
So, and Juventus too, one of the best teams in Europe, I
Yeah.
think, big price. And the
Six and
last
X.
game, my 6 and X, yeah, I've gone Bayern Munich to beat RB Leipzig. I've gone Borussia Dortmund to beat Augsburg. Likewise, Freiburg to beat a relegated Ingolstadt. Now, Nice beat PSG in their last home game. They're playing a weekend Angus team, so I think they'll be too good. I've gone Atletico Bilbao to beat Leganes, and the Yellow Submarines Villarreal to beat Deportivo La Coruna.
Good odds.
This worked under 25 to 1.
Gee, but so great football coming
I know,
up.
all starts Friday, Paul. You
All
know.
starts Friday, so we'll be straight into it. We'll, there you go. Get watching from Friday onwards. Some really good sport. The league could be over next time we meet in both countries, but it's certainly very, very good football and good fare to watch out for. We'll see you next week.